y'all, it's Diane with Shawcraft One and my old barn door. And I just wanted to share a little bit of my garden with you today. It's so pretty and peaceful. And so I just thought I'd give you a quick little garden tour and let you see what I get to see on my morning routine of coming out to the garden. I know this is not my regular content, but you know, sometimes I just want to share a little bit of my therapy with you because I enjoy this so much and it's so peaceful. I love seeing all the bees buzzing around and all the flowers blooming, and these sunflowers are just massive. I want you to look. That one's so big he's drooping over, and then this one down here is too. But anyways, I'm going to start at the front and just give y'all a little taste of what I get to see every morning. Hopefully it'll bring you some peace, give you a little inspiration. You know, we can be inspired by our garden. I'm always inspired when I get to come out in the garden, and then by the time I'm finished, I go back to work, get into my craft room, and I'm ready for the day. So hopefully this will help you be ready for your day too, and I hope it makes it a good day. So let's get started. This is the bed in front of the house. So this here is oregano. It's flowering, so I'll be able to save seeds. And then here we have rosemary, and then this here is thyme. This is called large leaf sorrel, and if you like spinach, you will like this. But it also has a really yummy lemony taste, and I cook this in a mixture. This is purslane, and you can actually put this in salads and soups and stuff. But with the sorrel, I put it in a mix with the chard. This is Swiss chard and kale, and I do a 3-green mix and add cream cheese and garlic, and it's so good. This here is a little bit more oregano, and then this back here is called marjoram. I haven't used it yet. And then over here I have some pretty zinnias. Aren't those gorgeous? And then this is some lettuce that has gone to seed, so I'll be saving those seeds. I need to weed, but you know, it's been so hot. And then here I've started some little zucchinis, just to see if they'll do any good, because my other ones didn't do great. This is lettuce, and then this is a cucumber that was a volunteer cucumber. I did not even plant it here, and so he's about done, but then I planted a new one, so I'm hoping I'll get some more cucumbers off of him. So that is the front bed. And then this bed is also in the front. See, there's the front door, and then it comes around the sidewalk. There's that front bed I just showed you. And so in this bed I have a little more oregano. This is a watermelon that didn't do great this year, so I don't know that I'll get any harvest at all off of it, but we'll see. And then a cantaloupe, and it's flowering, so I'm hoping I'll get a few off of it too. And then if you go over here, these are called cosmos, and they are wonderful to bring in the bees. And these just kind of came up voluntarily, and I'll show you the little seed pods. If you look right here, there's one of the seed pods, so you can cut these off and save them and have plenty of seeds for your next year. So these were pumpkins. They were little baby boo pumpkins, little white miniature pumpkins. And so they're about done. There's one of them. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can zoom in. He's rotting, but I'm going to leave him there and see if he'll give me a volunteer plant next year. So I have planted another pumpkin. I don't know how well it's going to do, and I don't know if it's going to have time to do anything, but there he is. zoom back out. So, yeah, those have just about finished. That whole this whole trellis was covered in pumpkins not too long ago. And then if you come around this way, then I have some onions in here, and I tried to plant some broccoli in here, but it didn't do good. So, but Mom has her daylilies there, so I didn't want to take those out. So, and then if we come here across the driveway, this is where all my sunflowers are. So I have lots and lots of sunflowers. And then in between the sunflowers, let's see if I can show you, try not to make you dizzy. I've got beans growing, because the beans will actually use the sunflowers stalks to climb up. Let me see if I can show you. See how it's climbing up? It's climbing up the sunflower here. So it will kind of use the sunflowers as like a little trellis. Okay. So look, I've had so many bees. I'm not going to get too close to him because I don't want to bother him. But I've had so many bees on these sunflowers. They are just absolutely loving them. And so then in here, I have, in between these sunflowers, you're probably not going to be able to see them really well yet, or really well, but I have some tomatoes. Can you see the tomatoes? They're little micro mini tomatoes. So I'll show you right here. See the little orange tomato and the little red and yellow tomato? Those are as big as they'll get. So they're great for salads. So I have, I think, 4 of those tomato plants in between the sunflowers. But look how big he is. He's so big and majestic. And look how big this one is. He's so big, his head's hanging over. He's drooping now. But that's not my biggest one. I'll show y'all my biggest one in just a minute. But then I have all of my flowers. These are lantana. These are just annual flowers that I put in to kind of help the pollinators and bring the pollinators into the garden. And then this here is a little miniature rose that Mom got in her last hospital stay from her daughter. She brought her that little rose, so we planted it in the garden. And then I've had to put these little pinwheels and the little wind chime. I don't know if you can see the wind chime. It's a little hummingbird wind chime. And then Mr. Owl here. I've had the worst time with birds digging up my seeds at the beginning of the summer. So I tried everything, and it finally seemed like the marigolds is actually what worked to keep the birds out. But here are my pepper plants, and they're puny this year. They didn't do well, but I've learned some things by growing them. They like to grow closer together, so next year I will plant them closer together. There's some jalapenos, and these are red chilies, and when they turn red, my husband ate one the other night and started choking on it. He was like, whoa, that's really hot. And he always calls it hiccup hot. He says if it's hiccup hot, it's really good. Because if it gives him hiccups because it's so hot, it's really good. All right, so I'm going to step back this way a little and then come to this side. And again, I've grown flowers here on the edge just to bring in the pollinators, and then of course the marigolds to keep the birds out. But then these are some cucumbers these are the cucumbers that the birds kept eating. So it took me forever to get them to grow, and they've been laying on the ground. I just trellised them this morning, so they're having a little bit of an issue. I don't know if you see the spots on the leaves. I think they were staying too wet on the ground because I've got the drip hose. So I got them up on the trellis. And then there's another one back behind there. And then this one, this is a spaghetti squash. I've planted it about 6 times here, and the birds kept eating the seeds. And then I don't know if you see these little spots here, but I had planted broccoli and it didn't do well. So I've got some more inside that I'm growing the seeds inside and hoping that they'll get a little stronger that way. This is a tomato that was just a random tomato. Okay, and then we're gonna go up through here first. Okay, I'm gonna have to be careful because I don't have my shoes on. But right here, this is another spaghetti squash, and he's doing really good. I kind of grew him a little later because, like I say, I was fighting with the birds so much. But I don't know if you can see, I've got a spaghetti squash started, so I'm excited about that because spaghetti squash is expensive in the grocery store. And then these are my tomatoes. Those are huge. They keep bowing in my trellis. But then on this side, I have tomato, and here's a pepper. It's a jalapeno pepper. But I've got some of these yellow pear tomatoes that are ready to be picked. And then here is some more of those micro mini tomatoes. So maybe I can get to it so you can see how tiny it is. So that's as big as it gets. So they're great salad tomatoes. And then, let's see. I have another pepper plant right here. So I grow the peppers in between the tomatoes, or I was trying to. They didn't do great that way though, so. But I've got some tomatoes that are ready down there that I need to come out and pick. Those are called Cherrylicious. And then here I have some more tomatoes that are getting ready to be picked. I have, this is basil right here. I like to grow basil in my tomato plants, in with the tomato plants, because it makes them taste really yummy. And then this one didn't do great, but I did get some harvest off of it. But then I have, sorry I keep sticking my finger in the in the camera. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 tomato plants right here together. So, and I don't know if you can see all the yellow tomatoes on there. But anyways, in between the tomatoes, I've also got some beets going. They're very hard to see, but right here's a beet. And then this little pepper didn't do good at all. He's still just puny. There's another tomato there. This is another spaghetti squash, and he's starting to bloom too, so I'm hoping that I'm going to get something off of him. He don't want to cooperate to hang up right now. And then this is a black beauty bell pepper. I don't know if you can see it. Or not black beauty, it's a purple beauty. And then those over there are Paul Robeson tomatoes, and they're yummy. We've already eaten several of those. You see that? Okay, and then this here is a broccoli. I only had one that survived, so I'm letting him grow. And then these here are potatoes, and it doesn't look beautiful, but they're getting ready for me to pull those up out of the ground. And then we'll turn around and go back down the little path here and go back out to see my big huge sunflower. Let's see. Sorry, I don't know if y'all want to see these kind of videos or not, but I've just had so much fun with my garden this year. I wanted to share it with y'all. Okay, so are y'all ready? Sorry about the finger. This sunflower here is absolutely massive. And then if you can see, there's another sunflower. Let's see if I can get to where we have tornado warnings here, so, or not warnings, but watches, so I just found that out. So, but it's I mean, you know, it's not raining or anything, so I don't know. But let me just show y'all this. This is my hand. Do y'all see how big he is? I mean, he is a massive sunflower. I mean, look at this leaf. This is my hand on the end of the leaf. Oh, he's just gorgeous. And look at this stem. I mean, that stem, if I put my hand around it, I can barely touch my two fingers together. So, I'm a little proud of him. Okay, and then here, all right, so I'm 5'4", okay? And then this one, these two or three, yeah, these three are at least twice my height. I mean, they are so tall. I can't even, like, I can't reach the flower. There's still quite a bit of room in between for me to try to reach the flower. So, okay, so then here, I forget what I planted in here, so I'm just trying to let them grow and see what it was I planted, because I forgot to mark them. But this is lettuce. There's another cantaloupe there, another watermelon there that I actually just seeded them in here and didn't have anywhere else to plant them, so I just left them in here. And then another little basil there. I need to move that because it's really shaded by the sunflower leaves. So, and then this is my parsley, and then here is another one of those micro tomatoes with a lettuce in there, and then this is mint back here. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. And then this big pot here is all radishes, lettuces. There's lavender and garlic in there, and then I stuck a lettuce in there because I ran out of room for lettuce. These are portulacas, and then here's more mint, and I love that it's flowering. And do y'all see the little, oh, that's a fly, not a bee. Well, I guess he's getting something good too. And then more lettuces. This was lettuces that I'm letting go to seed, but there's more lettuces planted in these. And then this little vinca is really struggling, so I'm letting it get some water. There's marigolds that I planted in the front beds, and then like a dodo, forgot that I planted them there and pulled them out thinking they were those cosmos, and I was going to put them around the mailbox, and then I realized that they were marigolds. So I don't know if I'm just going to leave them there or what. But and then here is my green stalk tower, and it has peppers and strawberries, and it has a squash and zucchini in it. It had some herbs, but they're not growing real well. Let me see if I can get it to turn. Yep, there's some dill right there. Some dill. And there's a squash down there. And then I've got some lettuces in here too. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Yep, there's a little baby pepper. So it's a learning process to garden, you guys. And I'm learning, but I don't think that you ever know everything you need to know about gardening. Okay, and then over here, last little bit, there's a lettuce. There's a lettuce. Those two are lettuces. And that's a lettuce. And then, of course, these two little stray tomatoes, which I don't know if they're going to do anything. But anyways, I just wanted to share a little bit of my garden with y'all because it gives me so much pleasure and happiness, and I just love it. My sunflowers are my pride and joy. They're my favorite.